Maybe God's trying to get your attention right now, but first you have to pray that He changes your heart. Just like the Israelites needed a new heart, they had a heart of stone and they needed a heart of flesh to receive God. Like Pharaoh had a hardened heart and he refused to soften it. And the soil in our lives that Jesus talks about being cast with seed, and some landing on rocky places, some landing on good soil filled with weeds, how that really meant the cares of this world and the distractions of life, the pride of life. Some people that hear the word and are excited for a moment, but as soon as persecution and tribulation comes, they lose it. Maybe God's trying to get your attention right now. Just like Jonah, right? Imagine Jonah, right? An Israelite who knew God, right? Who was growing up in that culture, the 10 Commandments, getting delivered from Egypt. All throughout the Old Testament, it's repeated over and over again. I am the God who delivered you from Egypt. I am the one who rescued you. All the prophets talking about it. David speaking about it. Moses living it. And being commanded by that God that you know and you're a prophet of to go and do something. But instead, you're disobedient. How often is that occurring in your own lives, in my own life, or even believers getting assignments and messages from God? Do we decide to go to Tarshish? Do we decide to get on that boat? And there's always a boat, right? The devil always has an escape plan from God's plan for your life, right? The devil's always going to have it there. He's going to pay your fare. He's going to say, come on, let's get out of here. Don't worry about God's plan. Let's worry about your plan, right? Isn't that the only commandment in the Satanic Bible, right? Do as thou wilt, right? And the Christians and the Israelites, the Old Testament, what was it? It was God's will be done, right? It was your will above ours. Your ways are greater than our ways. Isaiah said, your thoughts are greater than our thoughts. But how often do we say, God, actually, you miss the point, right? You miscalculated exactly what was going to happen. And in Jonah's case, it was, these Ninevites are actually very evil people, God. And your mercy shouldn't be for them. They're the enemies of my people. How are my people going to look at me? How are my people going to see me? But God said, listen, didn't I make the Ninevites too? Didn't I raise them up like a little child? Shouldn't I have mercy on them as well? Jonah rejects it, as we often do, reject God's plan and go our own way. And it works out for a little bit, doesn't it? Right? Jonah was on that boat, smooth sailing. They took him. He was thinking he was all clear. He's as far away from Israel and Nineveh as you could possibly get in his case. He thought he was good, out of the clear, out of the bush. But no, because there's no outrunning God, right? All throughout the Old Testament and New Testament, there are people, and even really quote-unquote smart people, that don't really know God and who know who He is, right? What does Cain say after he kills his brother Abel? Am I my brother's keeper? How should I know? Is God asking him this question because God doesn't know what's going on? Adam and Eve hiding behind the fig leaves. Well, we don't want God to see our. Oh, you don't think He already saw exactly what happened, right? Sarah, when she says that thing and say, I didn't say it, Lord, and no, you did say it, right? The Lord knows everything, and He knows what it's going to take. So for Jonah, what it took was the storms of life to come in, the hurricanes, the tornadoes, the earthquakes, whatever it is that wakes people up out of their sleep, out of that mode of thinking that they're actually good, right? Jonah had a storm that came his way in that boat. And the men on that boat started casting lots to figure out who it was that this storm was coming for. And it fell on Jonah. And they cast him into the sea, and the storm rested. And a fish of the sea came and swallowed Jonah up. And that's interesting for a lot of different points. But for the main point that I'm thinking about is, who else was in the belly for 3 days and 3 nights? Right? Jesus says the sign of Jonah. So I believe Jonah died in that fish as well. It talks about going to Sheol, and there are gates and bars enclosing him. It doesn't sound like the inside of a fish, even though his body was there. It sounds like his soul was somewhere else, kind of reflecting Jesus, right? Perfectly reflecting Jesus going into the heart of the earth for 3 days and 3 nights instead of a fish. That's why he says the sign of Jonah is the only sign that you wicked and adulterous generation will get, because a wicked and adulterous generation seeks after a sign, and no sign will be given it except the sign of Jonah. So as Jonah's in that fish, and then he comes back to life, and he gets thrown up onto the shores of Nineveh, to the place that he did not want to go, and he still was brought there and got there. You kind of think to yourself, why did the whole city of Nineveh repent? And it doesn't say Jonah did any huge, big miracle. He didn't just come there and split the sea and show them that Yahweh is the Lord your God, and he's the maker of everything, and you need to worship him and him alone. It doesn't say anything like that. But the interesting thing is the Ninevites, the Assyrians, the ancient Assyrians, they had a god, right? That basically had like a fish up to his waist, swallowing him. But he wasn't fully swallowed, right? It was just like that. So imagine you're fishing, right? And you're on the shores, Nineveh, just an Assyrian, right? The Assyrians were wicked too, right? They would skin people alive and then hang their skin up and their body up onto the doorposts and gates of cities that they've conquered, just to show how wicked and evil, like, you mess with us, this is what you're gonna get. So it's understandable to a certain degree why you wouldn't want to go there, right? Maybe they're gonna do that to me. But imagine through Jonah's disobedience, God still worked out a way to get him there and to preserve him there, right? Because after you got spit out of that fish, what would that have looked like to an ancient Assyrian, seeing a man being thrown up, walking out of a fish, and then coming onto the land and speaking to everybody about repenting and believing the one true God? Everyone's going to be like, yo, our gods that we thought were gods are not the real gods, because we just saw a miracle. How is a man coming out of a fish and then he has a message for us? We better trust in this guy and believe in this guy. And then God's glory was still obtained. But Jonah still was depressed. He left the city and he went under the shade of a tree, and then a worm ate the tree. And then the sun beat on Jonah. And Jonah was so angry and upset. He said, God, why did you take this tree away? Why did you let the worm eat the tree? Why did you let it destroy it? It was providing me shade. It was good. And then God says, you care about the tree so much, and it was just a tree that was, planted today and uprooted tomorrow. The tree doesn't have that much value in it, but you care about it that much. But all those people that were in Nineveh, you didn't care that much about them. And how often does that happen in our lives, that we put other things above people, right? Above reaching people, right? I'm uncomfortable, right? I'm at work, I'm at this, I'm at that. It's not, you don't use wisdom, but people should be the primary concern, right? Jesus tells us to go into all the world and to preach the gospel to everybody, right? Not just the good people and the righteous people and the nice people, because they don't exist, but to the whole world, that they may be saved. So I hope this message touched your heart today. God bless you. Go out and bless somebody else too.